Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Good evening and welcome to SimSpeed TV, Motorsport Australia Facebook pages, or wherever you're watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us. Round 7 of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship comes home to Australia's backyard for the 3rd leg of the National Championship, and I can think of no better track to start things off than this 13-turn beauty, the home of horsepower, Sandown International Raceway. On paper, and put simply, it's just 2 long straights with some wiggly parts either end. In reality, and virtually, it's challenging with extreme focus on power. I'm sure we'll gibber about that all night. We'll get back to that. All your favourite race drivers are on track tonight. Cody Deeth, Damon Woods, How Good Is It, Zach Retro White, the Lobs Double-Decker Bust, Brad Newman, Danger Zone Chewy Kang, Eddie Beswick, the list goes on. Chuck in the chat who you want to see tonight, or your favourite driver is, and I'll be sure to pass it on to the broadcast team so you can see your favourite driver up close, personal, battling and trading paints with our competitors. It's Saturday night and it's time to go racing, but before I do, I just want to thank our sponsors: Hymo Setups, Early Motor Group, Trophy Hub, First Take Photography, Motorsport Australia, thanks guys, Race Labs, and of course a huge thank you to you at SimSpeed TV. Our sponsors help us get this championship into your ears and eyeballs, but without loyal drivers and viewers it wouldn't be possible. So thank you from the whole broadcast team for spending your Saturday evening with us, and we'll try and make it as entertaining as we can. Thanks again for joining us tonight. I'm your host, Aaron Obersteller, and as usual in production, we have Jay Kennedy doing a stellar job on the pots and pans. And joining me in commentary is the other half of the Gibbering team. We have come to know, trust, and love. It's Daniel Yaman. Welcome to Sandown.
Thanks for the introduction, Aaron. And yeah, basically my home track here in Melbourne at Sandown International Motor Raceway. And while it's a short track, it's a fast track. And after what we heard from the drivers after Road Atlanta, they weren't entirely sure how things would play out here today in terms of sort of a pack racing experience that we might end up with come the racing in about 15 or so minutes time from now. This should be a good one here as we're coming into the pointy end of this GT3 National Championship. With tonight's racing, we head into our final third of the season.
Yeah, go to Sandown. Look, I'm a Queenslander, I'm sorry, but you guys, I know you guys are down here and it's wet as hell, but it's not out there on track for some weird reason. Anyway, we'll get back to that later. Hey, 13 turns around here. Track length is just over 3 kilometres. Average speed, I think it's the old 100 mile an hour, like 155 kph. Top speed, I saw the guys getting to 260 on the back straight before they take the plunge down there into Dandenong Road. Power's everything around here. I think you spend like 50% or more on the loud throttle, so power's everything. I'm looking forward to this. You're right, it's going to be a bit of pack racing and taking opportunities when you can.
I mean, yeah, it'll be curious. Yeah, that throttle percentage is probably a good point. Actually running the numbers on how much this track would be, but I think at least 50% is a fair shot. Yeah, because all that long front stretch, the run from turn 1 to turn 2 is most of the time under power. maybe squirt the full throttle for a fraction of a second between turns 3 and 4, but then the power all the way back up from turns 4 to turn 6. Of course, watch out for big bombs coming in at Dandenong Road down the hill into turn 9. Maybe some moves in the final chicane of 11 and 12 with a switchback on the cards. And similarly, high speeds into turn 1, also a good opportunity given it's a 90-degree left-hander and you're on the brakes for a bit more than you are at turn 6. So about half the opportunity for things to go work here is also at an alternate view of how this circuit has changed over the years. That's our original configuration with the start-finish line over where turns 2 and 3 is. That was the shortly lived version for the International Sports Car Championship of the day that came here, had a bit of a weird infield circuit there, but then as the racing course reclaimed that inner territory, we ended up with our modern configuration as it currently is, and minor works to improve the pit facilities on the current start-finish straight really being the only changes to the circuit in recent years.
Well, thanks for the history lesson there, Dan. That was great. I think there were, look, I've heard people say there used to be a train station or something go through there as well. I'm not sure, but
train station is not too far away, actually just outside the circuit on its south, basically outside of turn 1, good 300 meters away, but it actually means it is well serviced by a major rail corridor still.
Tonight, guys, everyone's on a fixed setup that's been done by Hymo setups, so everyone's in the same. Let's just say they're in the same equipment, the same tools underneath them. Fuel capacity for tonight's race is 50%, so in the feature race they're going to have to come in for a squirt of fuel and get back out there and have a race. We're in qualifying at the moment for the next, I'm going to say 10 minutes, so we might jump to the action there shortly. Before I do though, yeah, we are going to go 20-minute group qualifying, so we're in the middle of that at the moment. Race 1's 15 minutes, a bit of a sprint to the grid, which I love, and race 2 will be 45 minutes. You'll have to stop for fuel. And that pit stop entry is going to be interesting as well. Dan?
Yeah, well, as we look here, yeah, the points indeed. And well, Cody Death had his perfect run spoiled last time out at Road Atlanta. We'll see how he goes here tonight as at this stage in qualifying. It's slow going for him, and he's got Damon Woods back for his final time this season tonight, and teammate Dylan Burst looking strong once again. As you said, also, yeah, the viewing cars, we've got Jamie Christensen and Zach Ratcho White leading that charge at the moment. And yeah, in fact, the fact is here, we go from Cody Death back to Chu Kang, and I think that's about 20-odd drivers, less than a second in it at this stage in qualifying. So for Death, this should hopefully be, I think for him, it'll be sort of working to consolidate his championship. Dylan Burst probably looking steady in second as well, but still, it's up for grabs between Ratcho White and Christensen. They certainly could end up exchanging places. And other spots there in the back of the top 10. Watch out as well for them to be making moves as well. Whilst I was talking, Cody Death was at the bottom of the time charts, having not set a representative time just yet, but lo and behold, he is back on top with the first car in under a 107.0. 106.897 is to see here on screen now.
Yeah, actually, that time we just did, the 106.897, that's actually quicker than practice. I'm pretty sure those guys out there before, so he's been sandbagging just a little bit, I think. So that's going to be a hard time to beat, and that's off the bat. So we'll see what they can do. I expect the guys, Dylan Burst and David Woods, to have a crack at that. Just watch out for Zach Rattray White as well, and Jacob O'Reilly here. We'll see him how he goes as he comes in the pits. But yeah, Zach Rattray, I can see some very fast sections there. If he puts it together, I think he'll be up there at the 106.8. But time will tell. We'll see what's going on. Simon Chadwick's coming across the line now. I don't know what he just did there. He must have just been an exploratory at the moment, getting the tyres up to 10. I must say, guys, if you guys are watching at home, you'll see a lot of guys hit the curbs at turn 2, turn 3, and it'll just send these things flying. You've got to stay off those curbs. You can take a little bit of them, but not too much. You can take a lot of the curb as you come down Dandenong Road, but that's about it. These cars get very unsettled down.
Yeah, that is the big thing around here. Of course, the curves are very much appealing, but these kind of cars in GT3 trim, not necessarily known for taking them. So we'll see how they handle the curb hits. Also, you're talking about practice times and such. In fact, Cody Death indeed was also on top in practice. I'm not sure you're going to believe it, but I'm looking at the results in session right now. Cody Death has set the identical time that he did in practice to the millisecond here in qualifying, top of both sessions. There you go. We're going to throw him up on screen. So there it is in practice. He did a 106.897, and I can tell you that right now he sits on provisional pole with a 106.897. 0.897. It's up to everyone else to close the gap down. As you saw there in practice, times were tight at the top end of town. They're about half a tenth away from being in a similar region here, as Toadie's going to wind up on this particular occasion and have another run at it here around Sandown. Let's ride on board with our provisional pole sitter here, Aaron, and show how Sandown's handled in these GT3 cars. Well, unfortunately there, Aaron, Cody aborting that run on the back stretch, although in saying that we saw there through turns 2 and 3, up the hill. He didn't take any of the apex curve through turn 2, but he did get on it through turn 3 as he tried to get that car set up. But nevertheless, we'll see if he goes for another run later in the session. Another driver who's had moments of speed and expected pace, Matthew Dench. Unfortunately, has had a couple of rough times. I think Road Atlanta, he got caught out pretty nasty by some curb bottoming and the like. Let's see here how the 83 Team PGZ goes. He's looking to improve on P5, and he'll take the curb there at turns 2 and 3, and then you can ride the exit curb nicely there on the way to 4. The exit curbs here quite generous, of course, being fairly flat, although they do crown at the center of them, so you have to be careful. But again, another driver backing out there off turn 4.
I think it's where, if you can get the first sector nailed, the rest comes together very nicely. So, yeah, turns 2 and 3, you got to get them right. It's just, it blows your lap completely out. And if you don't get that exit off turn 4 onto the back straight, well, that's your lap gone as well. So, I did say at the top of the broadcast that it is a massive, like you have to think about power. You focus on the power out. That's going to get lap time. So, you see these guys backing out. Oh, we see Jack Doohan coming through for a time. Let's see what he does. He's just at a 107.8, so not as quick as he's going. Might have a chat with him a bit later if we're lucky enough. To everyone watching at home. Damon Woods now this lap is looking nice. He's on for a very, very low 107. Comes across the line. Doesn't improve. It's nothing. We're talking half a tenth here. Across the line for Damon Woods, keep himself in P2. I don't think he wants to be a rear gunner. He might be to Cody Deep Train for this evening.
And times are still tight at the top of the order, but yeah, every little bit counts as one of our Vermilion Ferraris peels. And also knowing there that Jack Doohan, we can pick up on screen here once again, actually switching out of the Ferrari, which he was in with the majority of the Vermilion stable last time out at Road Atlanta, off into the Audi R8 this week. And also a little playing for at least me and the broadcast as well. It was 2-1-0. It's going to be scored by iRacing. Is a slight improvement on the clock, but unfortunately for him, doesn't improve his position at this time. It's a fine 0.03 of a second to improve up to P5 as Dylan Burst has just sent the Eclipse Sim Sports Audi almost skywards there at turn 6. Very quickly to see how that happened there. He's actually just lost it on the way into the turn. It got snapped at the rear, and Damon Woods will peel in and abort that run in qualifying as well. As I believe we're actually going to be done here in about 5 to 7 minutes or so. So it does say 22 minutes on the clock remaining, but 35-minute session, and they're only going to get about 20-odd minutes of it here tonight to actually set times. We'll then advance to the races so that we're not waiting around any longer than we have to. Brad Newman here looking to improve on P14 as things currently stand.
Yeah, the bus. I did say he's called the bus at the start of the broadcast. He's done he did improve. He improved by 10th. That might have put him up a little bit. Yeah, it did. It put him up to P10. Well done from Brad Newman. Oh, here we go. This is done with Dylan Burst. He's got that snapped. Lucky it's virtual. That's all I'm going to say there. Otherwise, we'll probably put a red flag on this race.
The Audi R8, it's fast until it decides to kill you, and even then, you have to be driving it pretty aggressively and threatening chance of death to be getting the most out of it there as well. So no surprises, that little trait lives on with the German machine. Meanwhile, back to Cody Deeth, who's once again trying to get his eye in or warm things up. I mean, still uncontested, has over a 10th.5 clear at the top of the timing charts at this stage of the session. Nathan Garner for Blackout OPR. Number 23 Audi, if I could actually pick him up and see where he's at. He's just improved on his personal best. Goes to a 108.7. Simon Nicholson winding up in the PGZ 08 machine there. Being told no time set yet for Nicholson. Indeed, he's going to have to work to get something on the board so he's not starting 23rd and last of all these GT3 drivers.
You don't want to be starting back there. Not as you come in and won for the little feature race we're going to have shortly. Yeah, coming back up into the, if he can set a time, if he can get into the 7s, he's not going to move up too far. It is very tight from P2 all the way down to P20. What are we talking? Half a second, 5/10 in it. So we'll see how Simon goes down. He's coming down the back straight. This is going to come into turn 6 here as he plunges in a little bit off the throttle. Yes, nice through there. Hit the apex here as smooth as you can at the end of the road. And back on the power. It's pretty easy from here. When I say easy, it's not, because then this little right-hander, left-hander combination is finding your braking point and hitting that curb just sweetly is very hard. As Nicholson through past the pit lane, he's on for a 108. He might improve on Nathan Gardner's time. We'll see. No, he must have an off track on. Oh no, 108.1. So that's he's not last. He's second last. Well done, Simon. You're in pick 22.
Yeah, a little rough there for Nicholson. Didn't get the run right out of Dandenong Road at turn 9, and maybe a little passive through turn 11 as well. So expect to watch for him to climb up the order. The only problem is going to be, of course, time in the session. 16 minutes elapsed. I believe we've got about 5 minutes left in this one here before race control will call checkered flag. Adam Hughes looking to try and get inside the top 10. His P13 means he needs to find, well, 200ths of a second. He's up to P12. Half a tenth, he'll gain, well, you know, he won't quite get to, he won't quite get to P11 with half a tenth. He'll need a little bit more than that, but 107.7 won't cut the mustard this time around. Margins here are tiny. In fact, the biggest margin currently in all of the drivers on the grid is actually the gap from Nicholson up to Simon Chadwick, 21st to 22nd. But outside of that, it is our gap from P1 to P2 at this stage.
Cody Deeth's got a really nice gap there. He's got 2 tenths on the field. Oh, as I just saw in the background, Adam Hughes deciding to leave the server at the moment. Gianni Lutsu, now he's been racing very well lately. They keep on having a go at him about his qualifying time, so that's not going to help his qualifying effort. And I think we're at 18 minutes left on the clock. I don't think we're going to get too many laps in. I haven't seen the white flag at the moment, but Gianni Lutz is going to come out and track another go. Hayden Sell's going to come up to his line. He's an 18th at the moment. Comes across the line. It's not going to improve. Still stays an 18th. Yeah, he didn't like his previous lap there. He decided to find the tyre barrier and get the guys in the pits to work on it afterwards.
By virtue of the fact that they are allowed to reset the cars here during qualifying. It takes a bit of advantage of that one there. Matthew Dench winding up for another lap here. Also keeping an eye on Nicholson in behind him. Teammate in the PGZ car who's looking to improve. Does he? Finds another near 2 tenths. So goes to P18 does Nicholson. So on the way up the order for him. But running out of time, but it's now very much small margins, small gains. Will get him spots. And Jamie Christensen coming off the final couple of corners here as well. Looking to go better than P7. If he can to the line, then that looks like it's going to be a small improvement, but not a position improvement there.
Yeah, there's nothing in it with these guys. They're pushing as hard as they possibly can. I love qualifying for this. You're literally pushing the car as hard as you can, taking every millimetre as you possibly can do, and you're still P nowhere when you finish that lap. Simon Nicholson, he's been improving on every lap. This one is no exception. I think he's on to improve. It might bring him up nearly into the P10 if he can get this last sector right. That's a very nice exit as he comes down to the last little complex of turns, the right-hander, left-hander, turn 11 and 12. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. Hopefully that doesn't hold him up. That looks like the bus in front of him. He's coming through. It's going to be, if it's going to improve, it's not going to be much. No, he misses out by a tenth there, unfortunately, and he's going to stay in P18, Simon Nicholson. So I'm just trying to go up and down this little board I got, and there's no one on a PB or a personal best at the moment. Adam Hughes looks like he's on a bit of a tear at the moment, but just trying to pick him up on track. Yeah, he might actually improve. We're going to jump to Adam Hughes at the moment. He's done a 107.4. He's going to come across the line shortly for the same time. And Greg Barr, I think, just eclipsed him at the same time. As Jacob O'Reilly comes across the line. Fastest lap was 107.3. Doesn't improve, unfortunately. Seems to be the running thing here, Dan.
Yeah, just having a look at conditions in the server. We are in early morning, so there might be a slight change of temperature, possibly, but at the same time, it's just a case of time being so tight, you have to be hitting your marks perfectly to get improvements in this session. Cody Deeth still sits at 1.16 seconds clear of Damon Woods in second at this stage. I get the feeling he's not going to be able to find an improvement unless something drastic does happen here in the what I'm presuming is closing and dying seconds, but we haven't had confirmation yet on how long until the checkers will be called. As look here at Rattray White coming into the back straight, looking to go better than P3, although you have to do that. As I've just heard, 30 seconds remaining in the session from race control.
Yeah, so I think that's going to round up. I'm pretty sure he's going to back out of that. He'll be happy with P3. He's going to be right behind Cody Deeth at the start of this race. Oh, yeah, I don't. This is not the time. I think that was just he's going to press on with it. I don't know when we see a flag. We haven't seen a flag, so he might be on for a fly here. We'll see what he can do. Daniel Woods is in the pits, so he's going to be doing a lap. Cody Deeth is out there as well, doing a lap. But Dylan Burst, yeah, well, this is a bit odd for Dylan Burst to be in P5 at the moment. We normally see him on either the front row or the second row of the grid. As I say that, he might come through and improve. But no, this is not going to be an improvement. I'm just trying to work out when this checkered flag is going to fall.
Yeah, I actually was trying to keep a mental track in my head of how long until checkered call. No call yet, though, so presumably Burst will be allowed to continue on here and set up. Greg Barber still coming through the last couple of turns. He might sneak through. No, he bails to the pit lane. He has done. Stuart Ellis has found the grass. And it just leaves Gianni Lutsu, Burst and Deeth, the last three cars on circuit. Lutsu's hustling through 11 and 12, but into the grass, it's going to kill that run there. For Deeth, he's cruising back around in behind, which means it's just going to be Dylan Burst who appears to be pushing at this stage as he needs to try and find something. Nope, that's it.
They caught us by surprise there, Dan. They just threw it on us. Yeah,
no call of checkered flag and straight advance of the session. So that will set the grid for this opening 15-minute sprint. So as soon as we can, we'll pull it up here on screen and walk you through it for our 23 drivers that will be looking to start this 7th round of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship here at Sandown. And indeed, once again, it is Cody Deeth and Damon Woods, who will be sharing the front row here today, as they have on the rounds where they've both been in attendance. Zach Rattray White, first the Ferrari, is going to start out of P3, sharing that second row with Matthew Dench with one of his better qualifying results here in P4 tonight. Dylan Burst, indeed, not quite what we normally see from him in qualifying, but starting out of P5, it's not too far away from the front of the field, meaning he'll share row number 3 with Jack doing there, having swapped out of the Ferrari to the Audi. I've actually also been informed via the YouTube chat that car swap will cost him 50 points for the championship. Jay Christensen next to the Vermilion cars there in 7th, and likewise Gianni Lutsu has raced the Ferrari before this season, so that will be a points penalty to the number 58 machine there at the end of the round, starting in P8. Jacob O'Reilly, going to be another Vermilion car, dominating his back half of the top 10, starting out of 9th. Marino Morella going to break things up with the next Porsche there for Visceral Esports, starting out of P10.
Yeah, P11, we've got Matthew Boyle at Dynamic Sim Sports there in P11. Good time, only half a second behind the leader there. Brad Newman, hopefully he has a good race tonight. He's been nothing but a roadblock for the last few races, but hopefully his fortune can change. Greg Barber in P13, Adam Hughes alongside of him, a blackout OPR. lockout on row 7 of the grid. Eddie Beswick, the Eclipse Sim Sports livery in P15. Zachary Smith, he's got some fans in the chat at the moment looking for him to improve tonight from that position. Stuart Ellis in P17 alongside Simon Nicholson. We saw him in qualifying. He got to P18 and couldn't improve on that. As we move down to Hayden Sell in P19. Simon Cox in the BMA number 64 rounds up our top 20. We've got 3 cars left on the grid. I think we got Chewy Kang out there. He can stay out of a bit of mischief tonight. Simon Chadwick, we saw him in qualifying just before in P22. And rounding up the grid is Nathan Gardner. On the side there, and there's a bit of race control. We'll see how that's safety. Hopefully we don't see that safety car out there tonight. Dan.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see as to how things play out here in terms of safety car or no this evening. Waiting on the gridding procedure to finish. We're about 25 or so seconds away from starting to roll off as our last couple of drivers need to jump on the grid to round things out. And then the iRacing pace car will pull us away here, starting on the back stretch at turn 6 to get this rolling start procedure underway once again. And well, the only time it's happened was once this season, but Cody Death will once again get control of the field to roll away here shortly, and that race start once the pace car pulls in. Once we get back around to the start finish straight, and he's been good just about every single time he's had control of these rolling starts. As there we are on screen, formation lap is going to begin, and I'm seeing, no, pardon me, Marina Morella is present on the grid. Yeah, I'm seeing gaps in my timing, but everyone is on the grid, so we will roll with all 23 cars. We will get ready to take the start, see if they can improve their positions for the feature race grid. Of course, that will be critical here. Of course, track that usually sees elbows get out, but these kind of cars are not particularly keen on elbows out, so we'll have to see who can get the balance of aggression and speed right here in this 15-minute sprint.
Yeah, sacrifice turn 2 and 3 just to get position. It's more important to be there at the end than try and find one position. That's all you're going to find as they come across the start finish line for round 7 of the ANZ GT3 National Championship. About to get underway. Cody Death has taken it, and he's got a massive jump on the rest of them. There's a fan out behind him. I think Dylan Burst he got a pretty good jump. He's on the inside there as we come down into turn 1. That's Jack Doohan on the outside, sorry. Jeez, I got that wrong, didn't I? On the inside, going through turn 1, he's got a position. He's going to go up straight up into the P4. Great move by Doohan. Who's that on the outside?
One of the dynamic Sim Sports cars, Matthew Boyle, ended up in the dirt into turn 3, and then they're 3 wide. Contact, it's got a couple of guys stuck together. Boyle and Brad Newman get stuck out as Hayden Sell around in the background with Simon Cox, Simon Chadwick and Nathan Gardner, and the Ferrari in particular. Black smoke pouring out of the engine. And in fact, he's not even going to make it. He decides it's done. He's going to pull that one over, and he's hitting on the racing line. That might just need a safety car here to sort this one out here, as indeed Death leads the field away up front. Rattray White's jumped into second, got to the inside of Damon Woods before turn 1, and Woods back to third. Jack Doohan slicing tight up the inside into the opening turn as it narrowed up and got himself to P4 as confirmation comes through for Chadwick. He will request a tow, and he's still parked, if I'm not mistaken, yep, on the racing line. That's going to have to be communicated with drivers, so they're not aware, as here is on replay. So they all stack up in there. Into Cox, Gardner in behind, and destroys the back end of his car, as we are going to stay green here, Aaron.
I'm surprised because I still see Chadwick out on the track. Here come the cars now. They're going to go straight past him. This is... Oh, we'll keep an eye on that because I'm watching... Oh, that is dangerous for these drivers. Someone's not going to see him. Oh, and it's happened. I can't believe... We could see it happening. Simon Chadwick has requested a tow. Couldn't get off the track. I don't think race control saw what happened there. Oh, wow, that is an absolute disaster for everyone involved. Who was that ran into the back of him there? Does anyone know?
It's Zachary Smith, the number 25 from Alpha Venturi Racing, has unfortunately clobbered him there as he came off of turn 4. And Simon Chadwick as well, unfortunately. He's been forcibly removed from the server. So the caution comes through. We can see the smoke, and then just on the curve of Zach Smith as you normally do on exit in the corner, and he's just unable to get the car to come off that curve. It grinds a little bit there on the top side, and as a result, that is car dead as Hayden Sell going to rejoin the race, but a lap down now. All these guys. So here is...
Oh, that's a big hit.
Now, which of the PGZ cars is that one there? It'll be Nicholson. Yes, further on down the field. You can see the first car there to avoid that one there. Let's go back to live pictures here with you at the front of the field. Retro White, fast lap of the race in this opening phase by about 10.5 on the rest of the field at this stage. We've got Damien Woods right in behind, looking to get that Door Esports number 56 back up to second. There's Doohan's gone around on the curbs, turned down the hill. He will find the Armco. Looks pretty light though in terms of the hit, but he's going to be way out of position now as he tries to rejoin this. Actually, never mind, that is looking a little worse than I expected. On the rejoin, it's going to get clipped by Boylet.
I was hoping to have an interview with Jack. We won't mention that or tell him that was on the stream. We'll pretend that didn't happen. This is absolute chaos. These guys are obviously pushing, and everyone's within a tenth of each other, and doing car is absolutely toast. I should mention that Brad Newman and Zachary Smith had to come through the pits for that early incident as well. Hayden Seller had to come through as well. So yeah, we've got guys that are lapped down at the moment, and what's going on the screen at the moment is pure racing as we see. I don't know who that's on. That's Matthew Dench at the front of that little P6 train, I'd imagine. Yeah, it is. So that's Matthew Dench, Jacob O'Reilly behind him, Morella's behind him, Dylan Burse is back in P9. I don't know how that happened. We'll have to unpack what's going on there. Adam Hughes is part of this little pack here. It's weird to see a pack of cars without the Newman in front, but we'll see how these guys race for the rest of this. But what we saw there, yeah, that was a very messy couple of laps to this round 7 opening to the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship.
It's been a little bit chaotic to say the least, and we're only about 1/3 of the way into it so far. As on board here, Marina Morella in the middle of this fight for 6th on the back of Dylan Burse. Adam Hughes just in behind. Got his eyes on Jacob O'Reilly and Matthew Dench in front for now. It would appear. Coming to turn 1 once again. She actually got a bit of margin back to Burse at this stage. And number 68 machine for Eclipse has generally been strong. You can see here sporting damage after what happened on the overground part. We actually jump back to Eddie Beswick, their number 30 machine in 11th at this stage. He's got Stuart Ellis and Greg Barber as they...
that was Barber into the wall, I'm pretty sure.
Tap the wall, and looks like visually might have got away with that one for now, despite the puff of smoke on the exit of the turn.
Virtually, it's fine. That'll be okay. That'll buff out, I'm sure, as it comes through down Dandenong Road. This little battle pack is awesome. These two little battle packs forming at the moment. Cody Deeth at the front has Zach Trey White all over him as well, so we might be... Oh, that's a touch. That's a touch from the Burley Motor Group replay. Oh, and is that for position? Yeah, that would be for position, I'm pretty sure, back there with Dylan Burse. That was Morella, I'm sure. Oh, and we got... Oh, this is... it's hard to keep my eyes where it should be. So that's Zach Retro White in P2. Sorry, I know where we are now. So we're at... and there's this little battle back here with Matthew Dench. And that's Jacob O'Reilly that took position from him, I'm pretty sure. So Matthew Dench, Morella, Burse is back in there as well. Adam Hughes in that battle pack as well. And then behind that you've got Eddie Beswick, Greg Barber and Ellis. And I think Simon Nicholson's going to join that too. So don't know who that is coming through the curb. Oh, and this is why it's heated up. I think there was a bit of... Oh, it's very wide. There's no grip out there. And that's why we're so close to the top now. Cody Deeth, Zach Rattray White, and Damon Wood are now in a fierce battle for the next 8 minutes of racing. So probably about 8 or 9 laps left in these guys for this little sprint. They're lucky not to be involved in the shenanigans at the start. I think we'll find that Simon Chadwick might be in a little bit of trouble for staying on track. I think he might have got the okay to leave the track. I'm not sure. Time will tell. We'll have to see what happens there.
Chadwick's been yoinked from the server. He will not be taking part in any more of the racing here tonight due to, well, the discussion in the YouTube chat has been particularly virulent, and the summary being that got told to tow 4 times and didn't. In saying that, I think, yeah, the safety car seemed warranted for where he was parked on the circuit and being on the racing line as well. But that is, of course, in the hands of the steward to decide whether it's necessary or not, as top three continue racing nose to tail here as well. You've then also got these two guys here, Gianni Lutsu having made his way up 4 spots to 4th, trying to hang on in front of Jamie Christensen. The Ferraris, once again, looking like they've got good straight line power. The critical thing, as I'm seeing, is Porsche's doing decently here in the middle of the top 10, but looks like they're struggling a little bit for corner exit rotation. Understeer and ploughing a little bit at the front end. It means that they're not able to get on the power as well at some of these 90-degree turns. And just looks like the Ferraris, therefore, able to take a slight advantage down the straights. The mid-engine cars here, like the Lamborghinis and the Audis, looking pretty decent. And in the meantime, as we watch here, they get ever closer in this fight for the top 3. I just wonder, does Rattray White have a crack at the win, or is he going to be able to settle in? Although that Lamborghini there, good off turn 4, it seems he pulls about a car length on the 17 up the hill.
Yeah, this is interesting. Zach Rattray, we've been watching him through the series. He's been ever getting closer and closer to these Eclipse guys. He seems to be finding pace in this Ferrari. That Lamborghini just has that little bit over him, but Damon Woods is going to keep him honest as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what this can do over the next 6 or 7 laps. Not many passing opportunities, to be honest, around here. You really got to get a good run at one of those long straights and do something at turn 1, or if you're brave enough, down through turn 6, down the road. But yeah, we might just follow the train for a while here as we get back into the battle for 11th. That's Eddie Beswick on. Is that Eddie Beswick? And then behind him is Greg Barber. Oh yes, Greg Barber in there behind as well, and Simon Nicholson. And this is a battle for P11 that seems to be heating up. We might stay with this just for a little bit and see if Simon's got a little bit over. So that's 2 Porsches and an Audi up front. We'll see how these Porsches get off the mark. We're just saying a little bit lazy, a little bit of push. And he's going to be pushing Greg Barber up the hill at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see. He has indeed. Nicholson's got the better run for now off turn 4, but OPR Porsche gets pulled along nicely on the way up the hill as Beswick is going to lead them into turn 6. See if anything changes though by the looks of things. Just a little bit spaced apart enough that I don't think we're going to see anything here. Indeed, single file down to Daniel Road at turn 9. The gap's just closing up on us there as they do under the brakes, and everything slows down a bit here. Then you watch it here, turn 11, you can use the curb there to your advantage, but you have to be careful not to get too loose through turn 12, and you avoid the apex curve there. And then for the second power band run down the front straightaway here, once again, these cars look to be sticking nose to tail. Gap at the front has extended by all of 2/10. It's now half a second apparently, actually in and around that at this stage. But it's a lot like these 3 here, just different drivers and slightly different car composition in the group. Yeah, they're through turn 4. Beswick looks to be the better of them, of these 3, as they power out. And then look at there, pulls a good 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths even this time around. So that's going to give him pretty comfy margin at turn 6, and he'll be able to take the normal line down the hill here.
I think these guys have seen the chaos in the first opening laps and thought, you know what, maybe we don't need any more of that. But still, the sprint race will take it back up a notch in the feature race. Hopefully, we'll see how these guys race. But when he takes a little bit of a good license over there over the grass to find a little bit more track time, does Greg Barber. But Simon Nicholson's keeping him honest. I don't know if you're going to have a lunge. Like I said, turn 1's great. You've got a lot of racing to do it. You normally have a bit of you need a helping hand as well going through there. You need the other person to let you go through there. Otherwise, you're just going to end up in the fence. Oh, and he got onto the curb there as well. We just saw Eddie Beswick smashing at curbs. He's trying to stay open as much as he can now. Good run onto the back straight again. Now, these guys are comfortable where they are. That's Simon Nicholson gets so sideways on that onto the back straight there. He always nearly clips the fence. Oh, and we're back on with Gianni Lutsu and Jamie Christensen, teammates, having a dig at each other at the moment. There's nothing in it. Jamie Christensen has got a run down there. Oh, he's going to be covered off. And there goes Jamie Christensen.
Exchange positions will be made there, and not much effort exercised by Lutsu to defend the spot. We'll release the number 5 up into P4 as we check in again with this battle of Beswick, Barber, Nicholson onto the front straight. 2.5 minutes, not even that left in this one, so probably looking at 3 laps to go, given that leaders are a good 10 plus seconds up the road from this pack, and indeed actually 15 up the road from Beswick. This time is trying to avoid that turn 1 curve there, Greg. It's not going to help you out all too much, but you use the exit curve turn 2. See also there, turn 1 exit curve, turn 2 apex, not much curve used on that occasion by either of these 2 cars here on screen. Turn 3 curve though, certainly up for grabs, and then turn 4 exit, which looks to be where Nicholson's hurting. He just gets the car sliding a bit, gets up and over the center of the curb, and the berm there means that it bottomed the car out on that one, which is not going to do him any favors at all. As Barber closes up a little bit down the end of the back straight thanks to the slipstream, and nice run down the hill into turn 9 allows him to get even closer still, but just not quite there, it seems, under brakes to be able to contest for a move into the turn. As indeed around the last go, there's the opportunity opened up from Beswick, indeed. Too wide, and he's going to go for it as Stuart Ellis is having a moment of his own down the hill into turn 6. The door's shutting, but Barber wants to open it back up indeed. Contact will maybe open it for Nicholson to pop up the inside here. 3 wide at turn 1. And watch me the penultimate lap, but he's in hot. Beswick's going to get the spots back by crossing them over from the outside.
I think Greg Barber just went into space. Where did he end up? Oh, there he is. G'day, Greg.
Simon Nicholson there, yeah, went for the very inside. Possibly lost sight of his braking marker. In the end, there was no way that was being pulled up in a reasonable fashion, as Brad Newman knows ahead of Zachary Smith into turn 1. We'll exchange that spot. The 25 will cross back over, it looks like, for a potential counter-attack, but through turns 2 and 3, that's unlikely to come of substance. 30 seconds on the clock means Barney's going to have the white flag in hand at the timing stand, and it's half a second on the timing tower as we get this final lap of the sprint underway. Lap 14 laps of action here at Sandown for this opening race, as Barber's buried in the fence down the hill at turn 6. Watching more like 7 and 8, so that's his race done prematurely tonight, as Damon Woods looking like he's in a position to maybe have one crack at it down the bottom of the hill. We'll have to wait and see here.
Greg Barber, I was just watching what happened there. He's done it by himself. He was pushing really, really hard to catch Eddie Beswick in that Audi, and just unfortunately found the fence. Oh, we'll get a replay of it now. Just got the inside of the, see you later. Racing track time on the Bentley Motor Group replay. As they come through some of the last turns now, we got Cody Death at the front there. Zach Retro White has held Damon Woods. He'll be very, very happy about that. Oh, I shouldn't speak too much here until we get through this last turn. But Cody Death, the train, the man, the legend, has come through for another win in ANZ eSeries. He's done it comfortably. Zach Retro White comes through for a P2. He'll be ecstatic about that, and Damon Woods comes through for P3. And running out that P4 position as Jamie Christensen was just let go by Gianni Lutsu. So going in this back, we've still got people on track at the moment. Is that, oh yeah, Nathan Gardner. Nathan Gardner coming down here. You'll see Chewy Kang doesn't have much of a front end to do anything with. He's lucky he didn't, because he would have sent that car into the Shadow Realm as they come down here for the last few turns. This is for P15 and 16. He's not going to send it up the inside. He is going to send it up the inside, and he's going to come off second best. Chewy Kang was on for probably his best position of this championship. He's going to slide down to probably P17, maybe P18. No, he'll get across the line for P17. Come on, mate.
And Brad Newman, they're going to fire it in the fence. He had an issue with Zach Smith at the first turn for his final lap. But your race results as they provisionally, or as they are when they come across the line. Death from Rattray White from Woods to round out our podium here in this one. We do have Cody Death in the box, but I did hear beforehand we possibly chat to somebody else here tonight, Aaron, or will we grab Cody?
We'll see what happens. We'll get Cody Death in here for a chat.
we will grab him in that case. Fair enough indeed, as results on screen. But Cody doing it once again here with pole position converting into a sprint race win. Although tight margin, of course, here around Sandown, making it pretty hard to break away thanks to all of that straight line and draft.
Yeah, for sure. That Ferrari's pretty quick and pretty good over those curves, whereas the Lambo and the Audi seem to struggle a bit. It's very quick in a straight line, so it's definitely a threat if you have a bad run off one of the corners. But yeah, it was good to get away with the win. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, in saying that though, I believe you got the fast lap of the race there in the mid part with a really nice clean one there, and if maybe just a tiny bit more consistent, which really helped seal the deal for you there in the back half of the race. But given what you've got to experience there, sort of, and obviously a longer race, pit strategy coming back into it, will expecting anything different with this feature coming up?
Oh, I just got to try and stop making mistakes, and I should have a better race than that one, a less stressful one, that's for sure. Yeah, just got to make less mistakes. It's quite hard with the cars and the curbs. They don't like them too much, but yeah, we'll see what we can do for this feature race.
Yeah, well, Aaron, any questions for Cody before we let him get
no
set
questions,
for the
just
green
good luck, mate. Get out there and send it. We like to see you up front in the with your teammates out there, so good luck, mate.
Yeah, cheers for that. I'll try and make a meal of it this time, eh?
Yes. Yeah, try. All you can do is try.
Alright, you guys have a good one, eh? See you later.
Well, there's Cody Deeth for a quick chat with us here, as we do have one more person who's going to have a chat with us. I actually might hand to you to have a speak with him first. It'll be Jack Doohan, unfortunately retired early on in that race. But Aaron, I'll hand to you to have a quick chat with him here now.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've given it away there. We got the reserve driver for Alpine F1 team. We've got a Doohan on track, which is great. He's now driving the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship, which is a massive step up for you. He's only 21 years old. Doohan, welcome to the championship. How is it out there, mate?
Yeah, good. My talent's only lasting for about 3 laps, unfortunately, though. So my race was cut a little bit short. Just clearly, just a bit too much to handle in the simulator, and it just got a bit too much for me, and I lost it. But yeah, it's good fun. It's I'm not home much, so to be able to be home and still drive when I'm not racing as much as I would like, through the year, it's good fun.
It's great to have you in here, mate, and it's an absolute treat for all the drivers out there and the people watching as well. And it's great to see a Doohan now at the pinnacle of motorsport again. I know you don't want to take too much away from your father's career, but your career is just heating up, mate.
I mean, hopefully, the pinnacle, obviously, would be not to be a reserve. So let's see, it's important times at the moment. So it'd be great to actually be, properly at the pinnacle and get to be a full-time driver very soon. But it all starts here in the ANZ series, all the prep.
No, it's good to have you in here, mate, and good luck with the race tonight. Hopefully you can redeem yourself. I'm going to mention that re-entry that you did, because it was garbage, but I won't bring it up. Jack,
yeah.
Good luck for tonight, mate.
Yep, thank you. It was. Cheers.
That was Jack Doohan, everyone, which is nice to have a quick little chat with him in here. He's done karting, he's done Euro Formula, he's done Formula 3, he's done Formula 4, he's done F3, he's done anything you can in an open wheel situation. Now he says he's playing it down as a reserve driver for Alpine F1 team. I mean, come on, that's nearly as high as it gets. So great to have him on board. Dan, that was good.
Yeah, it is good to hear sort of some insights there. Obviously, yeah, for this for someone like Jack, this is a chance to hopefully blow up some steam and have a good time. Unfortunately, that didn't work out in race 1, so he's going to have a bit of work now starting off the final row of the grid to have a chance at this one here. As also been chatting to Cody and to Jack. Some updates coming in from Race Control. The number 80 machine, Matthew Boylett, for his incident on lap 2, which is what would have brought out the safety car if it had indeed been deployed, has been issued a 10-second post-race penalty. But actually, pardon me, I should probably go and check that. I was with Brad
Newman. 5 seconds. Yeah. I'm not sure what the actual penalty is, but it's
into the back of Brad Newman. It also caused Chukang to fire off into the fence. There, it's 5 seconds for Eddie Beswick, which actually Eddie would be the one, I think, unfortunately, that got himself entangled in everything that triggered there. So that's what happened there. But go to the grid now for race number 2. And indeed, it was as they came across the line for race 1, time penalties not included. So it will be Cody Death and Rattray White on the front row. We'll see if Damon Woods can get back on the front row for this final race of the night. Jamie Christensen will be on his outside to start at the very least. Gianni Lutsu and Jacob O'Reilly are going to start out of P5 and 6 for the 58 and 222 respectively. Matthew Dench will be looking to try and get back into the top 4 because he's now got to start at the P7 for this one. Marino Morella going to be starting alongside him in 8th place. Likewise, Dylan Burst dropping a handful of spots. We'll have to start this one in 9th. Adam Hughes alongside there to round out the top 10.
Beswick in P11, I think that's where he started last time in the Eclipse Simsport team there. Alongside Simon Nicholson, he had a really good race there. He's gone from P18 up to P12 for this race. Matthew Boylett in P13. Simon Cox made up a heap of positions into P14. Nathan Gardner on row 8 of the grid with Zachary Smith. He'll hopefully have a better race than what he just did there. Stuart Ellis behind there with Chewy Kang in P18. He was on for a P17, but absolutely sprayed it in the last corner. Brad Newman, the bus, in P19. Hayden Sell back there to round up the top 20. At the back of the grid here, we've got Greg Barber. Watch out for him. That car's going to be quick. Jack Doohan, watch out for that car. That's going to be quick. Simon Chadwick, watch out for that car. That's going to be quick. Coming through the back of the field as we jump on board now with the safety car. Or not.
So that's why indeed the Brady Matthews work. It's a time penalty of 10 seconds. As we're also hearing additionally, so that was the Boyer penalty. Beswick was shoving his way up the inside, which tripped around several cars. That's what spun in front of Simon Chadwick. But also additionally just now come through from lap 14, turn 1 of the end of that race. Zach Smith, 10-second post-road penalty for contact with Brad Newman. So that will affect the result there as well. But time for the field to roll away once again. Time for Dylan Burst apparently to stop talking behind the wheel of that car there. And we'll see how the jump goes. Indeed, it was Deeth who got a good one at the start of the sprint race. David Woods got hung out to dry on the outside. Will he now get a chance on the inside to return the favour to Rattray White? We'll have to wait and see as they'll back up from the iRacing pace car. They'll give Kodidithi a bit of flexibility off the final proper turn here at Sandown. We stand by with Barney at the stand for the green flag in race 2. Race control give the call because the green flag doesn't fly until the half race here again for the E-Series GT3 National Championship at Sandown. And indeed, inside is King here on the front stretch to turn 1, and it will be deep from Woods into the first corner. 3 wide as Dan just find up the inside. He's tagged. Christensen around goes number 5.
They're all around. We've got heaps around.
Oh, how many cars? O'Reilly. Oh, Greg Barber.
Dylan Burst got through that. He was involved in it, and Dylan Burst has got through it. It didn't look too damaged. Oh, that's Adam Hughes. Oh my gosh.
Safety car's been deployed straight away.
Good idea for them to bring out the safety car early. Everyone needs to have a cup of tea before they jump into a feature race, I think. And this, maybe just bring them into the pits and lower the testosterone just a little bit out there on track. We'll have to unpack what happened there. We saw a lot of cars going into turn 1, 3 or 4 wide, just doesn't work. Then it continued down into turn 3 and 4. So we'll unpack what's going on here. This is the race. Oh yeah, that's just way too fast for Dylan there.
Matthew Dench.
Matthew Dench. We had Gianni Lutsu involved in that as well. We just had it'll probably come down to a racing incident, but a lot of people involved. Just too hot to turn.
Brad Newman bombs off inside Nathan Garner, and Nathan is sending in. Cars get stuck together, and they both end up in the outside wall. I get it that every spot matters here at this track, and if you can get in tracks, you have to be a little forceful. But yes, just completely reckless from several drivers there, and just creating massive chain reactions here on an opening lap of the race.
Dylan Burst is pitted. Dylan Burst had to come in and pit. I'm just seeing who else was in there with him. Jack Doohan was in there as well. Matthew Dench, obviously he had the pit. He got absolutely sent. Hayden Sell, I think, came in as well. So all these guys have come in for a quick stop. Not going to help him in the race. It's only going to hinder him coming back to the field.
Yeah, it will. They had cars that needed fixing up, so that was very much on point. In fact, Brad Newman's currently cycling around with a mechanical black flag next to his name that will need to be cleared out when he can. Same for Greg Barber, who's opted not to take a fast repair by the looks of things, which he had available to him, so that will delay him. And for Newman, he'll have to come in a handful of laps. So I guess if he can stretch this one here a bit, go a couple of laps, and then he'll be able to get more fuel on the car and be closer to the window where he can make it home on the 50% tank of fuel. Yep, that's very much damaged. I'm seeing it from the rear, where I'm seeing dented left side of the car, but a bit vacant on the front. No surprises. That's flag away as
Safety cars coming in. This is massive for Brad Newman. That's going to put him down.
No, it won't. So the critical thing is going to be here as to when he comes in. If he chooses to wait and get more fuel in the car and come in at the last possible second, or pull in straight away. If you make sure the fast repair's ticked on, he'll be good to go here as Deeth backs him up for half a second. He's actually going to back him up a little while here into the front straightaway. So this is going to allow cars there at the back of the field who actually got a little bit uncompressed to get back in. At the start-finish line, he puts the hammer down. We go green once again. And now we've got cars coming to the back of the pack at speed. Sell and one of these cars in the back of the game might be Beswick have come together on the start-finish straight. Or is that Dylan Burst? No, it's Dylan Burst who's that far back for the Eclipse Sports Machine. So they've just gone into the Armco on the outside into turn one. As a bit of movement shaking going into three wide. No, that's going to cause Smith, Newman and Squid Ellis to get together. Oh, and again, another rash move to the inside of a corner causes an incident. And then another Eclipse Audi machine. That would have to be, I think, Eddie Beswick there. And then, Burst now trying to get on it.
This
recovers.
This is just a series of unfortunate events that are happening at the moment. I'm watching Brad Newman on screen at the moment. The car is so damp. He's got no straight line speed. He's trying to keep everyone up behind him. Actually, then she's not going to have the end of it. As we see this little replay of the Berlin Motor replay, and it's, this is, again, 3-1 does not work out. Brad Newman's been involved in nearly all accidents there at the moment.
It has been utter chaos. The only drivers to escape any of it seem to be our top four in this one so far, with Deeth, Woods, Racho White and Mutsu. Everyone else has been making some massive moves and getting lucky. Like Eddie Beswick, I didn't quite see how he scythed through the whole thing, but he's made his way up to P5 to be our second place driver out of the Eclipse Sim Sports stable in the Eclipse colours. As we've heard already, Dan Woods is very much part of that team, but
Dylan Burst, on board with Dylan Burst. There's an incident there with Jacob O'Reilly as well. Jacob O'Reilly's found the Armco on the right-hand side with a bit of contact from Dylan Burst, so we can go back and check out what happened there. It just seems to be happening over and over again. We've only 5 minutes into this race, and we've had a safety car. We've had at least 8 cars off the track, and here it is here. That's on board. Oh, he's hit the board. They're just coming together themselves.
Again, another instance of a too-wide situation not really being the way the track works out. Both drivers really racing it like they're the only ones there, resulting in absolute chaos. As Beswick's, John Robe's actually reporting on behalf of Burst. So that's what that was. But so back at the front of the field, Cody Deeth and Damon Woods now in lockstep, 3/10 apart, as they try and break away, it seems, from Racho White and Mutsu, which they seem to have done so at this stage. As, a couple of cars further on back, Beswick and Boyle nearly run themselves off the road into turn 4 by finding the grass on entry there over the curb. But they keep on going in the forward direction, if only just. And although a bit of light flashing there from Boyle, was that triggered by something through here? Yeah, no, I think that Boyle's just been sucked in by Beswick. They've both done exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they're just they're racing hard. Oh, he's gonna go for a lunge on the inside. Gets it done easily in that. Oh, when I say easily, not too much. That car, number 80 car is going to have the inside line here, but the outside line to the last turn. Oh, good racing for these two. Oh, a bit of side by side, a bit of door banging, but they get through it cleanly. They do this drag race down the main straight. Oh, we'll see a little bit of blinking from the outside car there, the 80 of Matthew Hoylett. He's going to have the not optimal line as he comes through here. He's going to be held up, out to dry. He's not going to be able to get a switchback. Oh, he's awake to it. Eddie Beswick is absolutely awake to what's going on there. A little bit of contact, and the position is done. They only took half a lap. Oh, and it's just backed up the guys behind him too, as they nose to tail, and Constantina into themselves behind. Eddie Beswick is checked out.
We saw it coming all the way back to Daniel O'Reilly, able to get underneath and try and contest, which worked out nicely for him in the end. And right as they were finishing up that scrap, that 83 machine, sorry, which is not there in that fight. It's a little further back in the for Matthew Dench. His dive up the inside at turn 1 on lap 1 of this feature has then him taking Doohan's around in the middle of the exit of Dandenong Road.
I think you got a helping hand there.
Dodge him, although I saw him going up the inside of someone at turn 9. Yeah. Oh, it's a big bomb. It's a big bomb from Jack Doohan. The door was he's got the curb, smashed into the side of Simon Nicholson, and he's been the one to go around. That curb there, that signs his death warrant here at turn 9, and just bounces off the 08 of Nicholson, who does lose about 2 or 3 spots in the process as a result. So that's probably not going to be looked all too favourably there. As we go back live, looking at what we were looking at the top 2, but we've had a swap position here as Jamie Christensen's made his way past Simon Nicholson as a try and get a semblance of rhythm going in this race.
It's turn 8 curb, just moved down on the road. He just clobbered it, and it just lifted all 4 wheels off the tarmac, and no braking when you got no wheels on the ground. So Jack Doohan spearing straight ahead there. Unfortunately, he's in the pits now, and that's probably his race. Then I'd imagine once he gets back out there.
And we'll see if he's got anything left in reserve for this one here, as this looks to be the big battle of the race. 28. Bit of a stretch, you can sort of argue it all the way down to P17 in this one so far, but some of the bigger battles are going to be small pockets, as on board with Jamie Christensen from P9. As further in, watching behind, Adam Hughes gets a run on Chu Kang after a small error at the final turn for the 37, so that should be an exchange. It completes here at turn 1. No, Chu Kang to try and go around the outside, and he actually does outbrake the OPR Porsche. So 90, I think the 95 there a little conservative, but then into turns 2 and 3, and he will just force the issue there and take the spot away in the end of it all. That there was a little lucky between the two of them, because Hughes offline, he makes it work.
Rubbish. Chewy King seems to be in the wars all the time. He tried really hard to outbrake on the outside. It was never going to work, and now lost 3 positions because of it.
I mean, yeah, not so much really turn 1. That was the good part of stuff. It's just then you get to turn 2 and 3 side by side, and car on the outside of turn 3 gets a little escorted, bit of a bump. It wasn't necessarily entirely from Hughes intentionally, at least, but it does enough to very much upset his car. As there's also been no further action call involving the number 2 of Brad Newman and the number 23 of Nathan Garner, although so that there has actually been nicked. So right at the start of the race, that's all squared away.
We've got one more to come from Mr. Newman. I think there'll be another one come up on there shortly. I don't think it's going to be as lenient as the no further action, I would think.
Yeah, probably not, but we'll get to it when it comes. As looking here at Dylan Burst trying to recover a semblance of a race result, but he's up behind Simon Cox. This is the train of 13th through to 16th in this one. Sorry, 12th through to 16th in this race. If we look back to drivers like Jacob O'Reilly here at the back of the pack. See here first, close enough to turn 6 to make the run down the hill. Not sure if he is. It's going to have to be a big commitment down the hill, and no, he's not going to be there, so he'll stay in line. And everyone in this pack is not close enough to the driver ahead of them to make a move at this time, as they'll power back out. We're getting closer to the point where they can make it home. Honestly, if you're the first, going to try something a little alternate here through 10, 11, and 12. He's actually going to fire it around the outside of 11, gets the inside for turn 12, but the run isn't all too flash with that tight line through the inside of the corner. But Ellis is actually going to get up right behind him and give a bit of a bump, so that will push the 68 clear of the 64. And Ellis now will get the spot on the BMA Audi in the same vein, thanks to that overspeed down the front stretch.
Yeah, well done by Dylan Burst there, and Stuart Ellis saw it from way back and just got into the slipstream and gave him a little push to get past there. So Ellis made up a position as well. Dylan Burst, great move onto turn 12, and he's just making his way up. He's going to have Adam Hughes in his sight in the next couple of laps. He's got plenty of time to do it. We've got pit stops to come as well. No one's going to be saving fuel. The guys at the front, Cody Deeth and Damon Woods, have checked out. The number 3 and number 56 machines up there from the Eclipse boys, they're gone. The Million Motorsport guys, Zach Retro White and Gannett Litsu, have just left for dead, unfortunately. They're 2.5 seconds behind. Gannett Litsu got 3 seconds behind the leaders. So, and then back from that, Eddie Beswick is having his own win race by himself at the moment. And then we've got this battle from about P6 all the way down to P16. So, got to see how. We might stay with Dylan Burst as much as we can. I think he's got the pace. His last lap was a 1:08.3, but we know he's got quick pace in that. And he should be able to catch the back of Adam Hughes in a few laps, but we'll see how he goes.
Speaking of information from Brad Newman, he's been issued 10-second post-race penalty for his incident on lap 3 at turn 2. So happy to see him dropping down the order on the post-race results. And yeah, it's continuing to be a rough night out there as for Simon Nicholson. We just sort of caught it vaguely at the front of screen, a little hot through turn 3, and it's going to make the entry into turn 4 a little how you're going. But despite that, actually makes it vaguely work in the end of it all. Jamie Christensen, meanwhile, would like the spot off Matthew Dench. And we saw this in the first race. He got past the 83 PGZ Porsche, then proceeded to sort of clear out by about 5 or 6 car lengths by the end of the race. But on this particular occasion, that Porsche gets the drive off the final turn here, well, the final proper turn at Sandown. So we're going to have to wait for another opportunity for this Ferrari to find a way through.
Yeah, these battles are absolutely heating up. That Ferrari of James Christensen looks rapid. It just needs some clear air in front of him. And Matthew Dench is not going to give him any of it, I wouldn't think. There's going to have to be a mistake from Dench. And that could have been one just there. We've got James Christensen right on the back here. You come up here into turn 6. If you are brave, you will go down the inside here and wreck both your race. And the car in front of you as well. But yes, he's covering on. There's a bit of an overlap here as they come down into Dandenong Road over the curbs. He's taken a lot of curb there, Jamie Christensen. He's on the inside. He's going to give him a tiny little bump. They both didn't get the drive off there. Simon Nicholson behind him is going to get a position for free. Thank you very much, he says. Jamie's not going to give it up. Oh, he's going to have to.
And it's worked out in the worst possible way for Jamie Christensen. Forcing the issue that hard at turn number 9 does not work out for him. And as you said, indeed, loses the spot to Nicholson in the process. Though once again, Ferrari straight line looking decent with a bit of toe to help out as well. Not quite close enough to make the move into turn 1, and now has to start worrying about Adam Hughes perhaps having a chance at a sniff as they make their way around on this next lap at Sandown. Coming up on lap 14 of this race, now inside half an hour, so the car should be about to make it home probably from this end of this lap to the rest of the race. We're going to go back to last lap where Matthew Dench, and that's why Christensen had a chance, it seems, running it a bit too hot. Let's go back up the field a little bit to Eddie Beswick, Matthew Boylett and Marina Morella. That's for P5. Then this group of cars here for P8 on back. That has been another bit of information coming from race control. Number 14 machine. And I just want to confirm who that is for you. It's Jack Doohan. 5-second post-race penalty. And that is, well, it says jump start. Well, more like jump restart to be precise. But that's been issued for the safety car restart of this race. But alas, didn't quite get that one right. Got a pass done, it seems, before the start-finish line, given that Jack indeed is our last car. He's our last car. It's still on the server, but he's virtually in pits. It is very much a matter of inconsequence indeed. We continue to watch the fighting here in the back half of the top 10. Beswick from Boylett from Morella, Dench, Nicholson, Christensen and Hughes. Looking to make something work with. Nicholson's going to be vulnerable possibly here, a little bit off the back of that. Meanwhile, side by side, almost up ahead, but not quite. So eyes on these two once again as they make their way to turn 6.
Yeah, Eddie Beswick up here. Oh, we're just with this little battle at the back here, but Up front here, we've got Eddie Beardwick with Matthew Boylett. Yeah, here we go. They're going to exchange a little bit of pain as they come down here into turn 10. Oh, turn 11, I should say. Turn 11 and 12. He's going to get as better run as he can, Matthew Boylett. And he's going to send this Porsche as hard as he can down this straight. And I'd imagine Eddie Beswick's going to stick on that yellow line as much as he can down here and make sure there's no chance for him to get underneath him. These guys are racing hard. Morello behind there is just on time. Yeah, good racing from these guys at the front here. Eddie Beswick and Matthew Boylett locked in battle, and it looks like they're going to be... Oh, and there's a mistake from Beswick, and he's lost position to Matthew Boylett. One little mistake at turn 4, and he's behind now. He's behind Matthew Boylett, and that car will become very, very wide for this P5 position for the majority of this race. The pit window is open. Oh, he's going to go down the inside. This is crazy. He's giving him a bump. He sent him. Boylett's into the wall.
Yeah, he's going to come back on the
track. Oh, no.
Oh, Hughes is gone.
Wow, there's going to be a lot of... This is a safety car for sure. That car is not going anywhere. And it is right on the apex. No, it's been cleared. No, he's still there. Oh, that is so close on track.
He can't move. I don't think Hughes can move either. I think his car actually is stuck on an incline in the grass.
If safety car comes out here, this is going to be massive. Everyone will go into the pits. Oh,
it's out. Safety car is deployed.
Keep an eye on this, please. This is the replay going down this back straight. So we got Matthew Boylett in front. We've got Eddie Beswick behind there. Eddie tried to send it up the inside. I've warned people about this all night. I've been talking about it. It's so hard to do and pull off. Tiniest of touches, and see you later. Exit stage right. He's held the brakes there, but it's not going to matter. That car's just going to drift off the track. Nowhere to go. Take it down another car. All these other cars are so lucky to get past. And the safety car out on safety car is out on track. This is massive news for this championship at the moment. I'm just going to try and keep an eye. Everyone is in the pits. I'm just watching. Just keep an eye on pit entry at the moment. Yes, everyone is going to come in. No one will stay out. I'd be surprised if anyone stays out here. The race to the pits is on.
They've got about half an hour's worth of fuel. Yeah, so there's no... actually been a bit of a punch in the rear. Matthew Dench has gotten a bit aggressive and actually copped back of Marina Morella's Visceral Esports machine. So that might be now damage repair for the number 7 that he has to worry about. Yep, he's going to get that bumper fixed back out as top 3 are going to pull away in the order they came into the pits. Although it was awfully close there.
Everyone's going to come out. Oh, there was a jump for position. I think Dylan Burse actually lost some positions.
Eddie Beswick actually coming through.
I think Eddie Beswick's going to be in I don't think he's going to be in that 6th position for too much longer. I would imagine there be a penalty coming his way. We're not in race control, but I can see the future sometimes.
Yeah, it's not a good look for Beswick because, I mean, the biggest problem there with it is that the track narrows substantially coming into turn 6 and he's on the part that narrows up. Yeah, that's the hit that I spotted on the way into the pit lane. Matthew Dench a little more aggressive than Marina Morella. And back doing getting one of his 9 laps down on the field back here. So we're given a little something in terms of a peace offering for this one here. So Morella, fast repair taken, rear bumper restored to factory new condition. That will see his car hopefully perform well. But yeah, now pit stop's all done. Everyone pretty similar on fuel, although Deeth looks to have taken him the most out of the top 3. And then it's Retro White who's tried to underfuel it, and according to my timing is underfueled it by over a second in relation to Cody Deeth, about 7/10 less than Damon Woods in front of him there. So
Matthew Boylett coming back out on track 2. So he's going to go probably a lap down there, but at least he's back out there battling for some points, much deserved. He'll be giving some character references, I'd imagine, right about now as he goes back on the track.
Yeah, perhaps. And yeah, he's indeed scored 1 lap down on the field, so will be at least not 2 laps down or anything like that. So given some tender mercies, is 23.5 minutes, not even that left in this race. And go around for one more time under the safety car before we'll get this one restarted. Zach Smith into the pit lane again, and he's gone up on the jack, so he's going to get a tyre change in August 2, which is definitely a bit of an odd one. Shouldn't really need it per se based on the pace, but I can see here that we've got 20-degree air temperature, 35 degrees Celsius track temperature in this current server. So it isn't stone cold temperatures, which doesn't quite... I see why they go. Actually, the in-sim date is November. You're not
yeah,
in May.
I
so
noticed that
explains,
too. Yeah.
explains a bit as to why it's not bucketing down rain. It was wet here today in Melbourne, of all things. And that might have been certainly an interesting play on the cards. But I'm being told to expect a wet forecast come Phillip Island for the next round of the series. Will be a permanently wet forecast as well, which we don't see much of a transition from wet to dry. But things could change a little bit, perhaps. We'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be the big equaliser, I think. With Cody Deeth and Damon Woods have shown how quick they are in the wet. I don't expect any change there, but there were some guys with a bit of practice might be able to sneak their way up there at the moment. So the battle that I'm looking forward to for the rest of this race, though, is Zach White is in P3. He's in P3 of the championship as well. P2 of the championship is down in where is he? He's down in P13 at the moment. Dylan Burse. So a lot of points to be made up by Dylan Burse, trying to make his way back up there. I know he's got a bit of a lead on Zach at the moment, but that's not going to do too many favours for the championship.
Yeah, it will. So we'll have to worry about that at a later stage as we now wait for the call. The safety car's in the pit lane, which is right now. So Cody Deeth has got all of this gap up to the start-finish line to lead them back into another restart in this race. Through turn 12, he will wait once again. Is he going to go a little earlier? No, he's holding. And it makes sense in a fashion here. Shorten up the run before the draft kicks in. And indeed, just before the start-finish line, what the hell did... Oh, no, Cox!
That is massive contact behind.
It's Burse and Doohan. And how have they all come together there?
Who else was involved in that? Because Doohan's not doing okay at the moment. He just came out here for a few laps and had a bit of fun. I don't think he was expecting that at all.
Stuart Ellis around at turn 1. He's...
Oh, I see what happened.
Oh, yep. That's not ideal. So, man, just trying to piece together how this has even happened at the back of the field.
Greg Barber had a lot to do with that, actually. He's got into the back of Simon Cox, sent him into Dylan Burse.
Yep. I see that now.
And then the replay will tell all. We'll get to that shortly. I was just talking about Dylan Burse's championship position. That's not doing him any favours. So who are we on board with at the moment? So this is the back. Guys, he's pushed him high. Yeah.
So the big problem there is, and there's doing it, unfortunately, absolutely destroyed by the out of control Simon Cox. The big problem is that Cody Deeth has led them all around at a steady pace, and then. I don't know what it is, but the guys there at the back, they're unable to maintain the safety car speed and all fanned out through turns 11 and 12. So then they'll jump on the accelerator. As we've been told, top of the hill, there's issues. It'll be for Simon
Gardner, I think.
I think Gardner is it? No, I've been told green flag once again there. It won't be Gardner to the back of the pack. Simon Cox is limping around, but he's already at the final turn, so he should be able to get back to the pit lane.
Dylan Burse is in the pits.
Dylan Burse is back in the pits. I think he already had to use the fast repair at the start of the race, so that's going to be a lengthy excursion to fix that one up. And we'll most likely go several laps down in the process. So, yes,
I just can't believe it. I just can't believe what just happened there. I was just talking about Dylan Burse's chances. Lucky they're getting a drop round. That's all I can say. That's a big hit for Dylan Burse. He's still in the pits at the moment. He's not coming out. The guys are coming through turn 11, 12, through 13. Dylan's still in the pits. He's going a lap down. The best he could probably achieve here is probably P18 or 19 at the moment. He might just get out and walk out of that thing at the moment.
Another update from back in the race start situation, which is involving O'Reilly and Dylan Burse, all drivers. Been deemed no further action stage. So the one there coming through, but I'm being told the checkup was somewhere around P10 on the restart. I'm tempted to go back and have a look and actually try and piece it together. And fours, Kang and Barber get together, and two of them are slow, hanging in the grass at turn 3, and then they're both slow with, well, Barber's got a slowdown penalty, he's got to serve.
Nathan Gardner's going straight past Chewy Kang here as well. Oh, the inside, this is dangerous, Who's going to back out? As they come down, and Chewy Kang has said, I've had enough of that, I've lost 4 positions, what's another one right there? He's lucky to get away with that. We saw that on screen there. That was Chewy Kang to Nathan Gardner. We're about to get a replay, and take us through it.
All right, so we're looking in and around the back half of the top 10. So I'm going to look to see which of the cars we want to have our eyes on. It's there. So we go. We're about Beswick on back. They're all leaving space, but then what's that? Chewy Kang is leaving 6 miles of space. So there you go. Deeth goes, and the back of the pack, starting with about Chewy Kang, really is the biggest gap there in the train. He's left about a dozen car lengths, and then they've all got on it. The cars behind. Now, don't forget also that in this series, race control signal when the leader goes. So you saw their Deeth starts to move. They've seen that and responded with the green flag instantly. And I think part of the issue there is then you've got cars at the back like Simon Cox. They put the hammer down, and Greg Barber, they put the hammer down as well as on board with Chewy Kang. See, look at the gap here that he lives. I mean, it's a big gap also being left a little bit by that Vermilion car, but it's only about 3 or 4. This here is still a good 6 or 7 lengths until about now.
Oh, and it's just chaos behind.
Yeah, and the guys behind, they're responding to race control calling green flag all clear, and as a result, they're down in the dumps as Matthew Boylett is off at Dandenong Road and way out in the weeds.
Just a update, Dylan Burst, P18, Dylan Pitts, 3 laps down. That's his night done. For the next 16 minutes, he will be probably chatting with his teammates at the moment about what could have been, where he was. This race has probably been one of his worst for being involved in incidents. We did say at the top of the broadcast that him qualifying at P5 or 6 was a bit odd for him as well. So been a tough night for Dylan. He'll regroup, and we'll probably see him at Phillip Island hopefully.
Yeah, there is nothing much left to get out of this one here tonight for him. So indeed, just focus on helping out Cody and Eddie, and chatting with Damon probably as well, and get to the end of this race here as Christensen's eyeing off Marina Morella's spot in P7, but that will not switch around on that occasion there. And for Boylett, unfortunately, just saw him rejoin the circuit a lap ago. He did it all by himself down the hill, got him too hot, and then over the curve on the inside and tapped the wall for good measure, which sent him way out into the gravel. So he's also buried in the pit lane, and I don't expect to see him out either. So we are down to 16 drivers still running in this race out of 22 starters. It's definitely not been a good night for driver attrition by many respects. Back up in front of the field, we will look here with Eddie Beswick leading this train, P6, Morello P7, Christensen 8, Nicholson 9, and Jekyll O'Reilly now rounding out the top 10 there in the Triple 2 machine as he tries to catch up to the back of this quartet.
Yeah, this little battle up here for P4. Actually, no, we could P1. So P1 down to P8. That's what the battle is at the moment. Cody Deeth doesn't seem to get away from Damon Woods. He's just broken the toe as I was speaking. So the battle up front is going to be Damon Woods and Zach Rosberry White. We saw Zach actually get the better of Damon Woods in the first feature race. Hopefully we can see that again. Something's happened down the back here. I think Nathan Gardner, Stuart Ellis is who we're on board with at the moment. And Chewy Kang, yes, we're just watching at the moment. There was a bit of a change of position there, I think. Who is in the wars all through tonight. And just up ahead of those guys is Greg Barber and Zach Smith, just having their own little race in the front there at the moment. As we go to this little battle here with who's at the front there? That's Eddie Beswick, I imagine. Yes, Eddie Beswick, Morello, Jamie Christensen, Nicholson, O'Reilly's in there as well. You can throw him in the mix as they come down here. Eddie Beswick again is going to hold off the P6 position there with Morello behind him. Coming down the Dandenong Road once more, and yeah, very smart from Morello there to. And he's not very smart. Jamie Christensen has been pushed completely wide We wanted to get that. I wasn't exactly focused on what happened there. Jacob O'Reilly's got himself a nice little kick. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything from Eddie Besby's car in this instance. Earlier they brought out the safety car.
Yeah, race control have been sort of slowly working their way through things, but now starting to get a little bit. And like your last call was from a lap 6 incident, the number 14 Jack doing. So that's how far back behind they are. As what's happened here, unfortunately, for Marina Morella and Jenny Christensen, well, inside protected, and you see there they just got stuck together. Morella's car just refuses to turn left into the road and escorts both of them a little wider than they'd like. And for Christensen, it's enough to actually come back together, it seems.
Chewy Kang's been absolutely sent again.
Stuart Ellis and Nathan Garner in this little battle pack. It's a side-by-side, side-by-side up to turns 2 and 3, and from that angle there, it doesn't look too great. Stuart Ellis angle, not ideal as well. But for Ellis, he's not got a huge amount of space left, and he's just come off the curb a tiny bit wrong, which is spun the 37 around by my looks at things. As an update has come through, speaking of which, you're asking about Eddie Beswick.
Oh, that's a big penalty.
He's had the hammer laid down on this one here. There's a 20-second post-race penalty for his incident with Matthew Boylett.
That's going to put him to the back of the grid.
And yeah, it currently puts him dead last in this field.
Does the penalty fit the crime? I think it does there, to be honest. It was the smallest of touches, but literally took another car out of the race completely. So 20 seconds. He does have time to put his foot down and try and make some positions up. But yeah, a top 10 finish is literally out the window at the moment for poor Eddie Beswick. But he's still out there racing. We can't say that for Matthew Boylett though.
Now, interestingly, right off the back of that one there,
oh wow,
Matthew Boylett deemed to have not been holding his brakes in that incident, and as a result has been given what's called a safety license point penalty. Actually want to watch that back. I'm actually going back again right now to see if he's actually on the brakes.
I thought I saw brakes on maybe released, possibly.
He actually did release them until he was back on track. So, good spot there from the race control team that the brakes weren't applied sufficiently to assist in trying to stop the car. As I'm being asked in the background is whether the wheels were even on the ground in the first place. The answer being not massively. So they may not have done all that much. But I guess it's the principle of the thing in this situation that comes to it. But that's the first time we've had someone directly penalised with what's been a system that hasn't even really been in the discussion for this season. Aaron, we've had plenty of time penalties to worry about, but not safety licence points.
There has been a few safety license points taken off some drivers post-race, but nothing in a race situation. This has been handed down within minutes of it happening. So if that's the case, race control has deemed it pretty blatant what's happened there. So we can only go with what their decision was. I'd imagine that Matthew Boylett might have a chance to dispute that possibly later, but yeah, as for tonight, the decision stands. 20 safety license. I think that actually at 20 points actually hurts your championship as well, takes points away. I don't have all the regulations in front of me at the moment because it's quite thick, that book, but it's in there somewhere. I have to ensure it. I'll see if I can find for everyone watching, let you know what's going on.
Well, back to the live racing as we're inside 10 minutes ago already in this one here. And they're starting to queue up behind Eddie Beswick. There's his time penalty when it kicks in. Actually will send him back to 14th place as things currently stand. With Greg Barber, Shu Kang now both... Oh, Morella's gone! The number 7 machine. And he's done another driver's solo incident, turn 6. And that looks awfully reminiscent of a shunt that I may have done myself once upon a time. That very same complex of corners. And as he out wide at turn 6, over the curve at 7, he's going to turn it back to the left. And the car is quite literally out of his hands down the hill. As
Yeah,
turn 3 has also been flagged as something up ahead for the leaders. It's Chu Kang circulating, but unfortunately having a bit of a rough time of it, it seems now. Yes. So we've got our front runners, we've got our drivers fighting for spots in the top 10, and then we've unfortunately got drivers who are either out of fast repairs or just trying to get to the end of this dang race, and they are definitely hurting in this final 8 minutes of the race.
I've just been looking through the rules and regulations. It'd be good if I could read. All I do is just call what's going on. So we'll go back to that at the moment. Gianni Lutzu's got Matthew Dench in behind him at the moment. 3 tenths separate them. We got 7 minutes left on the clock. We've got probably 7 or 8 laps left of racing. This is for P4. This is for sheep stations, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Dench wants some redemption from the previous race. Lutzu has fallen off the leaders completely. Speaking of the leaders, if we can just jump up, Damon Woods has lost touch of Cody Deeth, but Zach Rattray White is literally on his bumper at the moment. So we'll hopefully get to that battle at the moment. That's for P2 and a lot of points for Zach Rattray White if he can get that done.
As watching here, it's lovely shot on the exit of turn 4 as more updates coming through from race control, and it's going to be 5 seconds post-race. Chu Kang, an incident on lap 19 at turn 1. Now that would be possibly, yeah, it was off the restart with Stuart Ellis. So it was Kang turning down onto the inside of Ellis and it spun the 73 around on the inside of the circuit. So that's what's happened there. But back to the front of the field, 6.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Cody Deeth looks pretty secure in P1 at this stage. Zach Rattray White looking to try and take second place back off Damon Woods. Margins in it are currently, well, less than a tenth per lap, so close to nothing. As Woods here really hustling the Door Esports Audi. Example there at turn 1 was definitely throwing it in as deep as he could go without losing too much time. The Ferrari in behind.
I've just found myself going back to the rules and regulations over and over again. I really want to get to answer. I might do some research for everyone in a couple of weeks at Phillip Island in the wet, because we're going to have lots of incidents there, and I'll make sure I have it all at hand for anyone that wants to know what's going on. Otherwise, we might be able to talk to our race officials as well and see what they think as well. This race is really heating up. We've got 5 minutes left on the clock. That battle at the front, Damon Woods and Zach Rattray White, is still heating up. This little battle that we're seeing, we're just watching all the cars come through. Turn 11 just now. That's Eddie Beswick at the front there. He's going to be serving a 20-second time penalty at the moment. Just trying to work out where that puts him. P nowhere, unfortunately, but he's still going to hold up this little race at the back here. Simon Nicholson's going to be put up into P6, so he's got a race on his hands as well. With behind him, he wants to keep Jacob O'Reilly behind him as long as he can in that 222 machine. I'm just seeing who's the that's Dylan Burst back on track. That's what's got me confused. I'm thinking, what's the other Eclipse car there? It's just Dylan Burst being a bit of a rear gunner. That's actually nice. He could back up the field here if he really wanted to, but I think he's more of a gentleman than that to do that. And give his teammates some sort of shot at some points. Just shows the class of the guys out there as well. Dylan Burst could have just walked away. Instead, he's gone out there to finish this race. If it could come down to this being the championship points that decide first, second, and third. So championship in the back of the minds of all their drivers at the moment, especially Dylan Burst as well.
Yeah, it will be important to say that. He's currently sitting. The fact that he's P17. He's in this battle pack and circulating with the group. For a second, that just threw me off my game. So yeah, it'll hurt him on points. As you said, this is far away been his worst round, I think. So
he's still got 2 rounds to go. So this worst round could be worse coming up. So just keep in mind, everyone at home, that if you finish 80% of this race, I think it might be 75% or 80%, whatever it is. The points do matter. So even in P17, you still get points, and it could go towards your championship. I know there's a drop round, but it all matters He's still got 2 more races to go, or I should say 4 more races to go after this one, so every point matters.
Yeah. I guess the other big thing is, as you said, yeah, next round out at Phillip Island, if he has a rough one there, well then that's 2 bad rounds and one of them's going to hurt at the grand in the end of it all. So keep eyes on things there as this guy's scrap. Meanwhile, Matthew Dench has caught up
looking
to
racy.
Gianni Lutsu. Lutsu's going to hardline, or be forced to a hardline defense for the first part of the start-finish straight, but they'll both swing across to open up turn 1, and they will bump fenders on the way into the corner there. Dench is going to try and hang it around the outside over the curb on exit. Side by side again, second bit of contact through turns 2 and 3. It's actually going to basically help rotate the 83 into turn 2 and keep the spot in the hands of Lutsu for now. Have to see
I think
there.
that position is going to change shortly. Matthew Dench is so much quicker right now than Lutsu on track. He's got that Porsche's so racy at the moment. He's only got 5/10 a lap on Lutsu at the moment. That all is down here into Dandenong Road as they come through here. Turn 9, turn 10, 11, 12, and 13 is where he's pacey. We'll see if we might get a carbon replica of what has happened. On board with O'Reilly. Oh, big move up the inside, and his teammates had to go wide. And
yeah, for O'Reilly, they're actually the one making the error at turn 1. The door wide open, Jamie Christensen to slip on through. As a result, as exchange for P2, Vatre White gets the job done,
he got it done
on Damon Woods, and the answer is an error down the hill into Dandenong Road. Has set that one up for the number 5 machine, and then a bit of a helping hand on the exit of the turners. Watch for Damon Woods. Out of shot he goes. Out of shape, but he does get back on the track and recover, and then big of a punch there in the rear of the 56 is going to get out that one there and exchange the spots around.
That's
now
massive. That's massive for the Vermilion team and the VM boys, and Zach Ratro White getting up into P2. It's no mean feat to get through past Damon Woods, even if it was a bit of a slowdown there. Damon made a mistake. That's all there is to it, and that's how we got the position done. So we're coming through. There's the white flag as well as we come through for the last lap. Zach Retro White just has to hold on for 1 lap here against Damon Woods. That's going to be tough as nails. As we go back down the field here, Matthew Dench on Gianni Lutsu. That's going to be a battle for P4 as we go across the line. Tom Nicholson and Jamie Christensen are going to do whatever they can to get past Ed Beswick in this last lap.
That they will indeed. So the fight for second, the fight for fourth, the train for what will be 6th. Although currently the car in P6 still holding down that spot for now as we watch here this pack as you've got Nicholson effectively in P6. He's got to worry about Christensen right up his gearbox. And then you've also got O'Reilly with Dylan Burst separating them out for the time being. Cody Deeth, meanwhile, the gap nearly 3 seconds now as here we come into Dandenong Road for the final time. Wood shows the nose, but he's not far enough up the inside to make something of it unless the exit here works. As Ratro White a little slow, grabs a bit of grass through the kink at turn 10.
This is it. This is it.
To the inside, they're 11 and 12. Cody Deeth will make it another clean sweep here from Sandown tonight. Ratro White will hang on for P2 ahead of Damon Woods. The red podium in the feature race there, and it will be Nicholson fending off Christensen into the final couple of turns. We'll finish in P6 once the time penalty for Beswick is applied.
Oh, that turned into a bit of a race, which is good.
And in all of that too, Gianni Lutsu hanging on ahead of Matthew Dench for 4th place across the line as well. Well, we'll chat to Cody Deeth in a couple of minutes here, but he was concerned about the pace, and it ends up being a bit of a red herring there as well, as he ends up pulling a margin on Zach Ratcho White and David Woods at the end of that race. But once again, I believe that is now 6 rounds started, 5 clean sweeps for the number 3 machine. So it has very much been another great success for him. As the results come up on the screen as they were across the line, of course, don't forget we have a lot of post-race penalties to add on to drivers. But it will be Cody Deeth from Zach Ratcho White and Damon Woods who are confirmed as your top 3. Gianni Lutsu also will be confirmed as your top 4, finishing in 4th place. Matthew Dench is also good for P5 there in this second race. And then looking on further back, Eddie Beswick, we say goodbye to him with a 20-second post-race penalty. Promotes Simon Nicholson up into P6. Chad Christensen up to 7th. Jacob O'Reilly up to 8th. Brad Newman up to 9th. And then over the page, currently, as they were across the line, is Zachary Smith. He will be promoted up to the top 10 here.
And then, we go through the grid here. We've got Morella. Had a good race. We saw him in the Bristol Esports, number 7, having a great race there. I think he started at the back there. Ellis, Gardner and Barber. Chewy Kang, how he's in P16 is beyond me. He's involved in nearly every incident out there. Dylan Burse, well, he will, all he can do is regroup, come back in a couple of weeks' time and have another go at it. Simon Cox started in, I think, P12 there and was involved in an early incident. Matthew Boylett, we saw that incident. He will not be happy for the next couple of days. And Adam Hughes rounds up our top 20. And we had a couple of drivers at the back there. We had Doohan in P21, and I think I'm going to say Simon Chadwick possibly, and Hayden Sell at the back of that grid as well. There you go. The safety car actually beat Hayden Sell. Well done. Let's get some guys in here for a chat. Jay and Dan, as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Who should we talk to?
Well, I guess the $1 million question is, do we go 3-2-1 or 1-2-3? And I think we might want to start at the top and work our way down tonight. So
Always a top.
Cody Deeth will grab first and chat to him to kick things off for post-race interviews. And despite your concerns about consistency and pace there, Cody, looks like you were the one once again delivering here tonight in the feature. Another clean sweep in the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. Felt a lot more comfortable in that one, especially when I knew Damon wasn't going to attack, so it was sort of just eyes forward and hit the apexes and not make too many mistakes, which is what we did, and we came home with the win.
Did have the 2 safety car restarts to worry about as well, but we saw you there holding the field up quite nicely to minimise presumably minimising your slipstream disadvantage down into turn 1. Is why you held out for so long.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the especially with the Ferrari and other cars, the slipstream is pretty strong when you're quite close to another car, so just trying to minimise that as best as possible.
Well, worked out for you very nicely there indeed, and looks like it's going to be all eyes forward for the rest of the season. Phillip Island will be next up on the schedule for this season, and the threat apparently was to expect a wet Phillip Island as well. But we have a week off before we come back on May the 25th. So what will that do in terms of sort of giving yourself time to prepare for that race?
It's definitely going to make it interesting. I think it's going to jumble a couple of things up with the field. You're going to see some guys that maybe aren't up the front as much as usual probably come to the front. So it's going to be interesting. I'm sure there'll definitely be lots of practice going on for that race, and it should be a good race.
Well, we look forward to seeing how that plays out in 2 weeks' time. But for another fantastic round here tonight, who do you want to thank for helping you get it done in the number 3 machine?
I'd just like to thank Cliff Sim Sports, 5-6 Sim Coaching, Damon. Really good coach, and you should hit him up for any coaching if you need it. Obviously ANZ ESeries, Motorsport Australia for sanctioning the event. SimSpeed for broadcasting it. You guys do an awesome job over there. And thanks to everyone that was watching.
Well, there we are, Cody Deeth making it another Saturday night to be very happy about, with a sweep of the weekend here at Sandown. Aaron, I'll now hand to you to chat to the next man who came across the start-finish line, which will be Zach Rattrayne-White in that Ferrari for Australian Esports, if they won't stop joining, and I can grab Zach from that green room there.
He's been knocking the door. He's so excited to come in here. We'll open the door and just let him sneak in. We'll keep Damon Woods waiting for as long as we can. How good is it, Zach Rattrayne-White?
It's fire up. Yeah, fire up, ANZ fans.
Hey mate, good race. Hey, the little sprint race you had it over Damon Woods, only just, and it took Damon Woods a little bit of a mistake down Dandenong Road for you to get it done. Great racing from you. It looked like your race was done before that safety car. You guys had lost pace completely.
Nah, it's just, well, we just can't pass here, and it's just struggling with the tyres, and the setup isn't exactly suited for this track. I don't think every car by the sound of it was having trouble with either curbs or traction or rotation. So it was pretty difficult and overall a little unenjoyable. But yeah, you get a result. I guess it's not that bad.
Well, look, it was enjoyable for us watching. If that's any consolation, it could have been worse. It could have been wet out there. You all could have whinged about that as well. I wouldn't be whinging in P2, but that's just me. Zach, mate, give us a shout out, mate. You got a lot to get through, and no one can say it better than you.
Oh, jeez, we don't even know what my things are. All right, here we go. Fire them off. Doing okay. Vermilion Motorsports, Verb Design, Supernova Motorsports, Hymo Setup, and VX Coaching. So fire up.
Hey Zach, before we let you go, in 2 weeks' time we're going to go to Phillip Island. It's going to be wet. Everyone said it's going to be, so we know it's going to be wet there. Do you think you've got what it takes to take a championship win?
Nah, Ferrari's dogging in the wet, so I'm expecting damage limitation, but if we can get good points, I guess, and just keep chugging. Bathurst, we're going to be hyper, so that's the round I'm looking forward to.
Speaking of points, you're in the championship tally here. Your rival at the moment, Dylan Burse, had an absolute shocker back down in P17, so that's probably going to be his drop record. He did go out there and circulate, so I think he got 80% of the race done, so those points will count. It's going to come down to the wire between you two.
Yeah, we'll have a dip.
Well, that's great. Great to have a chat, Zach. Enjoy your afternoon, mate. Go and celebrate the P2 with the boys. And thanks for racing tonight. Even though you didn't have a good time, everyone else did around you.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Dragon.
He's an absolute mad NRL fan. Doesn't like the Warriors too much, but that's
afterwards.
That's yeah. Let's bring in Damon Woods, and I'll throw it over to you, Dan.
Sounds good indeed, but I hope I'm not going to accidentally disconnect from this channel because I was going to grab him and I didn't quite grab him. Let's see what happens. Good, didn't move. There we go. Bring in the number 56 machine here and chat to him. First time tonight, looking pretty strong up the front of the field, but unfortunately jumped in the sprint race, and there at the end, one tiny error. All it ended up being that opened the door to put you back in P3 tonight.
Yeah, it was a bit of a talent failure on the at turn 6 there, so I only got myself to blame for that one. But yeah, it was a pretty uneventful night, really. It's just a lot of single file racing. There's not really many spots to pass, and it's so narrow that if you go for a move, it's most likely going to end in contact.
Yeah, obviously it was something that drivers, you guys said beforehand, that was going to be a tough one to negotiate and make things work. I guess, how much of a pace advantage do you think you would have needed to be in a position where you could be making moves against each other, given the fact that when it actually came down, we're looking at 10th and a half to less than that here in the middle of this field?
Yeah, really, I would say probably need 3 to 4 tenths to have a solid chance at a move. So, yeah, considering us boys at the front were doing within half a tenth final maps, it makes it really, really hard to even pull off a move. So it is what it is. It's an unfortunate way to end the season for me. I was hoping to maybe bag another win, but it is what it is, and hopefully we'll come back if you boys run another season, and we'll have a crack.
Indeed, unfortunately, as you said last time out at Road Atlanta and confirming there, we won't get the chance to see you again in this season. But it has been certainly, for the races you have been able to make, been very strong pretty much every single time you've been out here. I guess any sort of highlights or moments where you wished things had been slightly different or better for you in the races you have made this season?
Definitely not having talent failures here and at Road Atlanta to grab that slowdown would have been nice to avoid, but other than that, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's been podiums every race, so I can't really complain.
Indeed, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's only been 1 or 2 spots there that have been gained or lost at the end of it all. Well, before we let you go, Damon, who do you want to thank for helping you get it done tonight in the 56 Audi?
As always, I've got to thank the boys at Door Esports for all their support. VRS, Recaro Seats, JBL, Tailored Rig, Arima Sportswear and SX Group for helping us out. So yeah, cheers boys.
Well, there we are, Damon Woods, our final driver on the podium tonight. We'll round out the interviews for this evening and this weekend's racing at Sandown, Aaron, and it means we now turn our attention to what comes next. We take the week off next Saturday night and we'll come back on Saturday the 25th of May for a double header to round out the season. We stay here in Virtual Victoria and head down to the Phillip Island circuit for the 8th round, penultimate round of this championship here for the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be wet. It's going to be fun. We had a few people here lose their minds around this track at Sandown. Everyone comes back to Australia and thinks they can handle these Australian tracks. It obviously not the case. So yeah, in a couple of weeks' time, people can, like I said originally, have a cup of tea and just regroup and get back out there and track shortly. We were just having a discussion there with Damon Woods. You asked him what he could have done better, or what I think probably half a second of fuel would have been what he should have said there when we first saw him on the scene battling Cody Death in the wet. So it's unfortunate we're not going to see that again for this championship, but maybe the next one, Dan. Look, I'm gonna end it there for everyone at home. It's getting late for me. Remember, before I let you guys go, Mother's Day tomorrow, okay? If you got a mother, which everyone does, get them something and show them that you love them, right? It's very important. Thanks for spending your Saturday night with us. Believe me, the pleasure is all ours. You have been watching the 2024 ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship. From Dan, Jay, and myself, a massive thank you for all your support, and look forward to seeing you at the penultimate round of the championship, Phillip Island. See you there. Toodles!
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.